Hello, it's Gyroscope again. And what you see in front of you is a wireless charger that I got as a present at my previous job. It always reminded me a coaster. I wanted to put a cup of tea on it all the time. Because of this design flaw, but not only, I wasn't using it much. It's really not my style. So it was laying around for quite some time. And now when I needed a charger for one of my rooms, I thought like, I can use this one as a baseline. So let's go. First thing I need to do is to take it out from the old body. When the first step is done, I decided to work on the new body. First, color. I wanted to make it in a lazy way, with a black permanent marker. Well, it was okay, but I didn't really like it, to be honest. Looked a bit dirty maybe. So I repainted it with spray paint. Then I wanted to attach this charging pad to the new body. And for that I needed to find where the center exactly is, so that this charging coil is exactly at the middle. When I find the center with the awl, I can keep it in the middle and then glue it. Now I need to fine-tune the space between the new top and the board. I used some piece of soft plastic left over from the old project. I cut it to match the shape and the form of the board. And then glued it all together. Now, when the migration of the electronics is over, it's time to start preparation for 3D printing. Wrapping USB plugs in this paper duct tape is needed to form USB sockets later. But before we go to the 3D printing, it's time to do some soldering. As you might notice, this cable had a micro USB plug, and actually the charger also has a micro USB socket, so I technically could just connect them and don't do anything, but I wanted to simplify the whole thing, so I decided to solder it directly to the circuit board. Now is the time to bring some 3D filament into the scene. After forming baseline for the future body, I needed some tiny 3 to 4 millimeters spacer. I use locks from zip ties for this purpose. They're quite wide and have the same size. Now I have 3 points of the same height. Now I can put this AC adapter on it and form the spacer with the filament. What I like about 3D pen projects is that you can cover any object with masking tape and print right on it. The top part of the plug is ready. Now it's time to build the rest of the body. I didn't have a clear plan on how to proceed with building the plug. I just knew that it should wrap around, and yeah, so I used the socket to see how much space I have, and I started adding some supports around it. It's time for intermediate checkup. So, looks good, clean and stable. Now back to the plug, forming the bottom part. Since this charger also has USB ports, I wanted to create some kind of a shelf or a holder for plugged-in devices. So in theory it can charge two, one wireless on top and one wired on this shelf. In one of my previous videos, when I used white filament, I said that I feel like a spider. Also, I mentioned that Spider-Man was my favorite superhero. And this time it looks like I'm on the dark side, because this project seems like a work made by Venom. Now, moment of truth. One of several in this project. Time to take it out and test. Oh, that was a satisfying sound. Buckle up, we are going into real socket with real electricity. Check the glow, looks nice to me. So it's red when resting and blue when something is charging on top. Yes, this is the switch. Yeah, right. Actually, I wanted to test this holder. And as you can see, it's too flimsy. I'll try to heat it up and bend it a little bit upwards. And it helped. It actually holds much better, but it's still quite flimsy. I don't like it. But before fixing this holder, I want to fix this cable. I don't like how freely it bends, so I want to attach it more to the top part. And now I'll add some volume to this holder shelf thingy, so it's harder for it to bend. I hope it will help. We'll see. Yep, much better. Looks like this part needs some support. Besides, I wanted to paint it in black, like all the parts that are not covered with filament. Now I don't have to do this. Now, the story of a fail. The idea was to add this ring for MagSafe devices to be located precisely above the charging coil. But turned out that with this thing on top, the whole charger doesn't work. So it continues blinking and not switching to the working state. So in the end, I had to just remove it. And here I discovered another fail. It turned out that the paint is not dry enough, so it was still kind of sticky. After a week of drying, I don't know why it happened. If you have an idea, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I had to remove the paint also. And now, haha, back to the roots. Paint it with a permanent marker, but this time smaller one. Jokes aside, this is literally third time is a charm. This is third time I repaint it. I told you in the beginning that it looks like a coaster to me when it lays on the desk. Now it will not be laying on the desk, but still I wanted to add something that would tell that I am a charger. So why not saying explicitly what this device can do? Now I see the character in this piece. Last bits of customization. Now let the edging match the lightning on top. Now I need to put transparent coating on top. The visual part is done with this, now get back to functional part. I still need to form a better plug, so it stays in the socket more steadily. This is a dummy plug that you usually use to keep your kids from messing with electric outlets. After drilling holes in it, I can put it on as a counterpart to the plug I made and see what is still missing, where I need to add more filament to match the shape of the standard plug more precisely. And now the part I waited the most, the part that brings the most joy when you try it out and it just works. With that, I want to thank you for watching, for being with me on this interesting journey. Please don't forget to hit like button, subscribe and hit the bell to get notified about upcoming videos. Your involvement motivates me to make more fun projects and share them with you. Bye bye.